In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my highlight and my contour routine. If you want to know how to highlight and contour your face, then this video is for you. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oladayo Oladogba. If it's your first time seeing this face, please don't make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button and giving this video a big thumbs up if you found it very helpful. And if it's not, hi my loves, welcome back. I'm going to be sharing with you a beginner friendly way on how you can highlight and contour your face. I know most of us know how to do the basic foundation, then probably your brows and powder. A lot of us want to know how to highlight our face so as to up our makeup game, So what I'm going to show you today is actually not specific. This is basically how I highlight and contour my face. People highlight and contour their face differently, and they do it based on their face shape. The end result is what really matters, as long as your makeup is looking good. Highlighting and contouring basically helps to bring out your face feature, and they also help to bring out structure back to your face. I don't know if you really notice that anytime you apply just foundation, your face just looks flat, but the moment you highlight and you contour your face, it brings back this structure, this shape, and makes everything look very good. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is prepping my skin, and I'll start with my moisturizer. I'll be using this moisturizer from Cetaphil. So moisturizer basically helps to add moisture to your face. It helps to keep your face well hydrated. It helps to make it very easy to blend in your makeup, especially your foundation and concealer application. The next product I'll be using is my primer, but before you apply the next product, when you're prepping your skin, you have to make sure that whatever product you've applied before has dried a little bit, or when you touch it you can feel it is tacky. So once this is tacky, I'll go into my primer. Primer basically helps our makeup to stay on longer. No matter your skin type, you also need to prime your face. For primer, I'll be using this, my favorite of all time, Rimmel London Stay Matte. These areas I need to prime. I like to put it on the bridge of my nose because I secrete oil from there. My T-zone area, I like to put it on my brow bone area because I also secrete oil from my brow area. Then I'll put this remaining one on my face. I'm just going to slightly tap this in, and I do not prime my under eyes. I'm going to be doing is moisturize my lips. I have very dry lips. The next thing I'll be doing is applying foundation, and I'll be using this from Phoera. I really love this foundation. This is my exact skin match, my exact skin tone. It is very light coverage. However, you can build the coverage probably by applying it twice. I'm going to blend this out using my foundation brush from Real Technique. If you're yet to see how to get your perfect foundation match, I have a detailed tutorial on that. Just click on this link to go and watch it out. I explain how to know how to find your perfect foundation, your skin tone, your undertone, and your skin type. Now I'm sure you can see how flat my face is looking right now with just applying foundation, but with highlighting and contouring, we are going to bring back the structure into our face. So moving into highlighting and contouring full. Highlighting is basically you adding concealer to areas where light normally reflects on your face. So we'll be highlighting with our concealer areas where light reflects on our faces. So these are under our eyes, bridge of our nose, our forehead, and our chin area. So if you want to use concealer, you either use 2 shades lighter than your skin tone or 1 shade lighter than your skin tone, depending on how you want your highlighter to look like. Are you trying to go for a very light under eye? Are you trying to just go for a very subtle, not too light under eye? So anyone you want to do works for you. You just basically have to use either 2 shades or 1 shade lighter than your skin tone. So the concealer I'll be using is this from VeeBeauty. You can also make use of your LA Girl, any brand you have. As long as you're making use of concealer, then that's fine. So I'm going to be making use of these shades. I love this shade of concealer on my face. I'll be making use of this pointed brush from the Real Technique, pointed foundation brush. So I'm just going to put some here, put another one here. I'm going to put this my under eye. little and put this in the outer corner of my eyes. Do the same for the other side. Then the bridge of my nose. So these are areas light tends to reflect on, so those are the areas we are highlighting. My chin area is where light tends to reflect on our face. Then my forehead. So now that we've highlighted our face, I like to wait for about 2 minutes so it can get a little bit tacky and to give it more coverage. I just like to leave my concealer to dry a little bit. Yeah, so the reason why I applied a little is because from here down the coverage is going to diffuse a little bit. This is because we want to give it this subtle finish. We don't want harsh line, so we want it to blend in perfectly. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is blending out my concealer using my beauty blender from the Adventure. So you can either use your beauty sponge or you can also make use of your foundation brush, whatever works for you at that moment. You can make use of it. So if you'll be using a beauty blender, you want to make sure it is damp. So once you've squeezed out the water, you can also try to squeeze out the water with a very clean towel. Take out every water from it. That way it would avoid the product from transferring to your beauty blender. So I'm going to start with the outer corner. So for my under eyes, I'm going to start with this side. So I'm just going to take the remaining one up. Do the same thing for the other side. If you feel like the highlighting is not as bright as you want, you can go back as well to add a little to your under eye. So I'm just going to add a little to my under eye. If you're going for a skin light finish, I feel like this is okay. So I'm just going to add a little bit here. I leave this to get tacky. I would go ahead to apply my contour. So basically you don't necessarily have to follow this routine. If the first highlighting I did is okay for you, then you can move straight into your contour. If it is not enough, you can go ahead to add this, then blend out, then move into your contour. Whatever works for you is fine. So while I let this get tacky a bit, I'm going to use my contour. So for contour is basically the opposite of highlight. These ones are areas where light does not reach on our faces. So that's our cheekbone area, our forehead area, then our jawline as well, our cheekbone. I said cheekbone already, at the bridge of our nose. Contouring, you can either make use of your foundation or a concealer. So for a foundation, you make sure you're using 2 or 1 shade darker depending on what you are going for. But when I want to contour my nose, I like to use 1 shade darker. I don't like too dark nose contouring. I always want to make sure it has this natural finish look. I like to use foundation for my contour, and for my contour for contouring of my cheekbone, I like to use 2 shades darker. I'm not really a big fan of contouring my jawline, so if you want to do that, you can go ahead to do that. So what I basically do is contour my nose, my cheekbone, and my forehead as well using this foundation. So you can see it is an unbranded brush set. I can't remember the name, but this is angled. I'm sure you can see. Basically use it to apply. So for contour, you want to make sure it is from here to this side. So before I put on the bridge of my nose, I would want to just blend out this. For my nose area, I like to use a smaller brush, or you can make use of this pointed part of your beauty blender. I'll be using this angled brush already. It is small and it fits my nose perfectly for me to contour with it. For the bridge of my nose, I'll be using this brush for this side, and I'll also be using my beauty blender for the other side. so we get to see for both sides. So I'm going to take it, drag it all the way. It won't get to my brow area. Just going to take it down here. Punch in the other side, just to let you know that it is basically the same thing. All you just have to do is put a little bit of the product you'll be using, either your concealer or your foundation. So another thing I do sometimes is do reverse contour with my concealer. I don't do this all the time, only when I feel like I really want my contour to be pronounced. So it's basically me also using my highlighter, and I'll be just putting in these areas. So this part is not compulsory. Most times I rarely even do this. Most times I use my powder to do reverse contour. So you want to make sure to blend this out properly. Don't blend it well. It would look like you didn't dust off the powder there. I'm sure you can see that it is well blended and my contour is showing more. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is setting my face. But before I set my face, I like to go all over the product I've applied to avoid harsh lines. So these areas, so this is where I lighted, this is where I contoured. I will just touch it a little bit with my beauty sponge where I use my concealer just to reduce the harsh lines there. So I also like to go back to my under eye to blend out where I conceal. This is to make sure that areas that are creased already, I'm going to blend out the product there. So once I apply my foundation, my setting powder, those lines will no longer show. You can see they're looking all good. I forgot to contour my forehead. So for my forehead, I basically put it around this area. You can take it around. So this is how I contour my forehead area. So the next thing I'll be doing is setting my face, and I'll be using my setting powder from the Adventure in neutral light. It's very important you set your face once you're done applying cream products. This is because it helps to keep your makeup in place. It prevents it from shifting and from moving. This is how I set my face. I just take some amount of the powder, then I dust it off. Most time I press it to the back of my palm, then I go. So to set the remaining areas of my face, I'll be using my powder palette from VeeBeauty. Using this angle brush from Bobbi Brown to contour my nose, to contour my face, and I'll be using my powder palette. For my cheekbone area, I'll be using this dark shade. I'll be using this very light one for the bridge of my nose. Then whatever is left to my forehead area. This is basically how I highlight and contour my face and how I set every single thing. I'll go off camera to do my brows, and I'll come back with how my face will look when I'm done with all of these. So guys, this is my whole face done. This is how my makeup looks like when I highlight and contour. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it very helpful, please give it a thumbs up and also click on the subscribe button to join this family where I share helpful makeup tutorials and tips, and also click on the notification bell so you get notified anytime I put up a new video. Until next time, take care and stay fabulous. Bye.